Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn about attribute table of any shapefile. So let's begin. Let's add point polygon. We have these shapefiles. Let's add it. Okay, I have these three shapefile: point, polyline, and polygon. And let's add field on this attribute table. So for that, let's start with this point feature. I have this point feature digitized in the ArcGIS. Now let's open its attribute table by clicking right over here. Open attribute table. We can see this attribute table: FID, shape, and ID. So let's start adding another field right over here. For that, click on this icon and add field. Let's add X coordinate. X coordinate, and then let's select this type as a double or float. We can select any one of these, or we can select double for the best result. Yes, and then in same way, Y coordinate, double. Okay, now we have added two columns in the attribute table of this point shapefile. Let's calculate its geometry by clicking right click on this column and then calculate geometry. Yes, this is the X coordinate of point, and then this is the required unit. Let's select any required unit. Okay, yes, we can see X coordinate of all these points in this column. In the same way, we can calculate Y coordinate by selecting here as a Y coordinate of point and required unit. Okay, yes, we have calculated the geometry, X coordinate and Y coordinate of this point feature. Let's start to calculate length of this polyline. We have this polyline digitized in the ArcMap. Let's open its attribute table, and then there are already some columns we have calculated. Let's add a field called length, and then float value. Okay, let's calculate its length by clicking left click on this entire column and then right click, calculate geometry. Yes, and we have the different required properties. We can calculate length, X coordinate of line start, Y coordinate of as per requirement. We can calculate these geometries. Okay, let's calculate length for a while. Okay, yes, here you can see in this column length of entire polyline, and by right clicking on this column we can see statistic, and then we can see right over here the sum of entire length. This is the length of entire column or entire shapefile polyline right over here, and we can see the maximum minimum count 708 right over here, and then standard deviation. Okay, this is the statistic of this data, and similarly we can see other field as well. Okay, let's go for polygon feature right over here. I have some polygon digitized, and then let's add its area, and then float value. Okay, we can calculate its area as well as its perimeter, centroid, y centroid, x y both centroid. We can calculate as per requirement. We can select this unit, okay, square meter, and then by right clicking this and statistic, we can see its sum as well as mean, standard deviation, maximum and minimum counts. Let's calculate its perimeter float value. Okay, you can see this perimeter. Okay, yes, and we can see this statistic right over here, perimeter, or you can select right from here also, area or perimeter. We can select this field, required field, for which statistic is to be measured, or okay, right over here, count, minimum, maximum, sum, mean and standard deviation. Here is the graph of frequency distribution of this attribute, this column, and these are the information about attribute table of this shape file. Okay, this much for today. Thank you for watching the video. Please like and subscribe.